nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I was so intrigued by this story because I loved how it was leaning into sci-fi elements, but all of our characters were still current and relatable and like everyday people. So I like that it touched on that. For you, John, how would you describe it? Is it a true sci-fi? Does it create another genre by playing with those futuristic sci-fi themes, but still everyday people?
That's one of the things I really loved about the story when I read it, the short story by Mr. Silverberg, was that it had sci-fi elements, but it didn't try to explain time travel and it didn't try to explain love. Those are just two forces of nature that are there. You know, obviously we don't time travel, but we move through time. We don't understand it. It is our reality. And we don't understand love necessarily, or relationships or partnerships or affinity. It's just something that you feel. And telling that story with everyday people, and people have the capacity to feel real and feel grounded and feel like their relationships were incredibly normal, was very important to me. And I just, with Leslie at the fore, one of the things I love about him, he's incredibly talented, incredibly charismatic, incredibly charming, but incredibly real. And those elements, they don't overwhelm. You don't see the process when he performs. It's just there. And that combination of Leslie, Cynthia, Frieda, Orlando, and Jaden, despite their many qualities as actors, as talent, as frankly, as stars, and have that star power, you just buy them as regular people who are dealing with the ins and outs of technology that we all deal with, social media, electric cars, self-driving, all those things that we now have to deal with. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, science fiction, now they're our reality. And certainly elements of relationships, we all deal with them on a daily basis. And I loved an extraordinary story told in a very grounded way with performers that just felt so real every step of the way, every frame, not a false beat from any of them, and just one of the best ensembles I've had the opportunity to work with.
It's a marvelous ensemble. And I like how you described that, because I thought by this age, like the Jetsons, we'd be flying around in our cars. And I thought,
where's my jetpack?
Like that. Exactly. And the second thing that you said when you were describing Leslie, I 100 co-sign all those things: charismatic, talented, brilliant performer. And in this, like, the realness was so cool to me, because you had all of these intimate connections with Orlando's character and Cynthia and Frieda, yet all of those connections felt very real and very authentic. It wasn't just insert here, insert Leslie here, insert here. And they were very, very distinct. When you have to form those attachments to the people, to these other characters, well, your character, do you approach them as different? Are they layers of one person? Do you look at it as several different roles within a roles? What is your view of the bridge, Leslie, on how you relate to the ensemble?
Well, thank you for that. That's very kind. I think first and foremost, I depended on John and a casting director to put me across from actors that would challenge me, that would be willing to sit in a moment with me and help me figure it out. You're only as good as your scene partners, really. And thankfully I had that in Frieda and Cynthia and Orlando and Jaden. And so it really is, I think that there's a tremendous amount of discomfort at the top of a film for me, as there's all these question marks, and you hope that it works, you hope that you're good enough, you hope that you make friends, all that stuff, that first day of school stuff. And you lean into that, you start conversations with people, you try to find your honest connections, the things that you like that are similar, or you get curious about the things that you're not interested in together, so I just think that there was a curiosity and friendships and genuine relationships being formed off camera, that because time is of the essence, and because, maybe we all have a similar process, we were all more than willing to bring in front of John's camera as well. So yeah, there was just a real affection for one another, and the desire to help John, make the movie that was in his head. We all showed up because we had such respect for him, and we loved his script, and so.
Well, it was wonderful. I thank you, gentlemen. I could talk to you for a long, long time, but thank you so much for your time. I appreciate the both of you. Great movie. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thanks for your input. Thank you.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.